Occupational English Test. Listening Test. This test has 3 parts. In each part, you'll hear a number of different extracts. At the start of each extract, you'll hear this sound. You'll have time to read the questions before you hear each extract, and you'll hear each extract once only. Complete your answers as you listen. At the end of the test, you'll have 2 minutes to check your answers. Part A. In this part of the test, you'll hear 2 different extracts. In each extract, a health professional is talking to a patient. For questions 1 to 24, complete the notes with information you hear. Now look at the notes for extract 1. Extract 1. Questions 1 to 12. For questions 1 to 12, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
Good morning, Mr. Bloomfield. My name's Dr. Dixon. I'm a locum GP standing in for Dr. Wright. What can we do for you?
I've been having some problems with my breathing.
Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
Well, I keep getting breathlessness and wheezing in my chest. It all started about 3 weeks ago, and I've been coughing a lot with it. Some white phlegm. I thought it might be a cold coming on. But then, after about another week, I started finding it more and more difficult to catch my breath.
Right. So you've had the wheezing and the breathlessness for roughly 3 weeks?
Yes, give or take a day.
And do you get these bouts of wheezing and shortness of breath every day?
No, they come and go.
How frequently do you get them?
The first week there was only 1, I think. And then they started getting worse, 3-4 times a week. It's not being able to get my breath that's really worrying.
And so the attacks, have they increased in the past 2 weeks?
Yes, they're much more frequent.
OK. When do the attacks come on?
At any time, but they seem to be worse at night and in the morning.
Have you noticed any change in the severity of the attacks, especially in the morning?
Yeah.
Do they wake you up at night?
About 3 times a week.
I see. You been off work at all?
No, but I nearly didn't go in yesterday.
Was that the worst so far?
Yeah.
And have you had anything else with it?
I've felt a bit tight across the chest.
Any pain with it?
No, just tightness.
Are you aware of anything that triggers the attacks?
Like what?
Well, dust, feathers, new carpets?
No, I can't really say I am.
OK. Have you had any infections recently, like flu or sore throat or chest infection?
No, not for a long time, except this.
And what about medications? Are you taking anything?
No.
No aspirin?
No.
Are you doing any exercise? Jogging, for instance?
No.
What about pets? Do you have pets at home?
No. But my neighbours have a cat, but I don't see it that much.
Everything OK at home?
Yeah, things are fine.
And what about work? I see you're a civil servant. Any stress or problems at work or anything like that?
Work's been getting me down recently.
In what way?
Well, there's been a lot of changes going on recently, and I suppose I'm a bit anxious, what with the mortgage and that.
And this has been getting to you?
Yes, more and more.
I see. And does the wheezing, etc., continue over the weekends?
No. When I come to think about it, it doesn't.
OK. Some general questions. Have you ever had anything like this before?
No, never.
Do you have other illnesses?
Um,
High blood pressure, diabetes or heart problems?
no, nothing like that. This is the first time I've been ill in my life.
Has anyone in your family had anything similar?
No, not as far as I know.
What about eczema? Anyone in your family with that?
Both my sister and my mother have it.
Extract 2. Questions 13 to 24. For questions 13 to 24, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
Barbara Roberts.
Yes, good morning.
Hello there. My name's Dr. Beddy. I'm one of the new GPs in the practice. First of all, what would you like me to call you?
Well, you can call me Barbara, that'll be fine, thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so Barbara, I'm seeing you today, but I think it's usually Dr. Brown that sees you, is that right?
Yes, Dr. Brown's my doctor.
Okay. What is it that's brought you to see me today?
Well, I've come about my tummy problem. I've got terrible trouble with my stomach and Dr. Brown just doesn't seem to be able to get to the bottom of it. And I thought perhaps I'd come and see you to see if you could help.
Right, okay. Can you tell me a bit more about your tummy problems?
Well, I have this terrible discomfort nearly all the time. It very often feels bloated. I swing between being constipated and having diarrhoea. I have sort of cramping feelings sometimes, and other times it stabs. It's a real stabbing feeling. I often have the urge to go to the toilet, and I pass very smelly wind.
Right. So quite a few symptoms there, and some of them sound quite
Yes.
troublesome to you.
Yes.
Okay. And how long has this been going on?
Well, I've traced it back to a holiday I had in Egypt about 4 years ago. I had a horrible bout of sickness and diarrhoea, and
what sort of treatments have you tried for this before?
well, Dr. Brown gave me some muscle relaxants at the beginning. But I've been to the health shop and they've been really helpful. They've given me lots of different tablets and medicines for different things. And Imodium.
Right.
I have Imodium in my handbag all the time, just in case.
Right.
Yeah.
So these different tablets that you've got from the herbal shop, how are you taking them? What about tests? Have you had any tests for these problems?
Yes, I had, in the early days, I had a what are they
A
called?
gastroscopy. Was
That's
that the tube
it,
down
yes,
from the top?
yes.
Okay.
And at the same time, I had a barium enema.
Right.
That was very uncomfortable.
Okay.
But no, I've tried. Well,
It sounds like you've had these problems now for about 4 years. You've got a lot of various symptoms in your stomach. You've tried a lot of tablets, some prescribed, some herbal remedies, and you've had some investigations, but you're not entirely happy that you've been investigated thoroughly enough. Is that about?
I'd say so.
Have I got
yes.
the story right?
Yes.
Okay. And I know you've been seeing Dr. Brown about this for the last few years. What is it that he's said that he thinks might be wrong with you?
Well, he thinks it's all in my head. You know,
Right.
I mean, it can't all be in my head. I get too much physical pain for it to be in my head. I mean, it's real. It's a real pain.
And And have you had any thoughts yourself about what you think might be causing it?
Well, I mean, I did think that perhaps it was an infection that hadn't cleared up in the early stages, but I think, I mean, sometimes I think it's IBS. A friend of mine's got that and it sounds similar. And then other times I'll think, I wonder if it's an ulcer.
Right.
On a really bad day, I start to think it might be cancer.
Right. Given that we've tried medication for you and we've tried investigations and we've drawn a blank really with those, none of those have really helped you.
No.
I guess I'm wondering whether now it would be a good idea to try a different approach to your problems.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
And I guess what I'd be wondering is whether one of the approaches we need to be using now is thinking about what you do with your life and what you do with your day, and maybe trying to bring back some of those pleasurable things, you know, even if it's just meeting up with your female friends once a week, and whether actually doing those sorts of things might generally improve your quality of life. I'm also thinking about the tablets that you're taking, and the fact that you seem to be taking quite a lot of them, and I'm wondering whether it's worth us sitting and looking at them and maybe trying to rationalise them a little bit and really decide which are helping you, which are doing nothing, and which may actually be making some of your symptoms worse, I guess. What would you think about trying that slightly different approach for, say 2 or 3 months, just to see whether or not it makes any difference?
Well, 2 or 3 months is a long time if there is something going on. I mean, that's what happened to my mother-in-law. You know, they left her and didn't spot it. And
well, I guess if we did decide to work together like this, this new approach, I'd be seeing you regularly. We can keep an eye on your symptoms, and if they change, then we can investigate as appropriate. But if they stay the same, then, you know, we could be pretty clear that there's nothing new happening that we're missing.
That is the end of Part A. Now,
Extract 1, questions 1 to 12. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
It up onto the computer later on. So just in your own words, tell me what's brought you in today.
Well, I've been getting some diarrhea, really. Yeah, for the last sort of, 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, so before 2 or 3 weeks, no problems really?
So before that, no. I mean, I've just been going normally, which is once every couple of days or something. Yeah, no problems normally.
Okay, so just tell me a little bit more about the diarrhea, what it's like and things like that.
So like what my poo looks like, sort of thing. Okay, so it's runnier, sort of looser than normal. I don't think there's any change in like colour or anything. And I'm probably, but I'm just going a lot more often.
Can I just check? Do you have any blood in it at all?
Oh, gosh, yes. I'm surprised I haven't said that already. It's worrying me. That I've had for a couple of days.
And is it difficult to flush away at all?
No, it's not difficult to flush away.
Yeah, and do you ever see any food that's not digested properly in it?
No, that wouldn't be something. No. No.
So you said diarrhea, but how many times a day does it actually happen?
Well, I would say somewhere between. Well, at the moment, probably somewhere like yesterday, it was probably about 8 times.
8 times, dear.
I mean, I don't think it's been like that every day for the last 3 weeks, but
up to 8 times a day.
8 times,
Do you have to get up at night to go to the toilet?
Yeah,
oh dear.
And I've never had to do that before.
And you're losing sleep over it?
Oh, yeah.
And do you have any tummy pain at all?
Yes, it's quite sort of crampy, mainly just before I go to the toilet, but it can be at other times.
But then does that pain go away once you've been to the toilet?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I would say so. A little bit.
And does anything make the pain worse at all?
Just eating. I can really think of.
And you pointed to your tummy. Exactly where is it?
It is just sort of around the middle, really.
Yeah. And how do you describe that pain?
It's sort of crampy.
Crampy is what you said, isn't it? Yeah. And how bad is it?
No,
if 10 was excruciating and 1 was very little pain, then where would you put it?
It's not. Yeah, I've had worse. So probably about 4.
Yeah. So it's not agonising, but it certainly is there.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've told me about when it comes on and what makes it a little bit better and worse as well, which is good. So I'm just going to ask the rest of the questions just about the whole gut itself. Do you have any difficulty chewing your food at all?
Oh, no.
No mouth ulcers or anything like that?
No.
Any difficulty swallowing your food at all? Do you ever get indigestion?
No.
Not really.
Well, sometimes, maybe on a weekend. Sometimes.
Okay, but not usually.
No, not usually.
So this was only about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago that you've had the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And prior to that, what was your bowel habit like?
I don't go that often, really. It's sort of maybe once a day, once every 2 days.
Once a day, once every 2 days, but certainly no diarrhea.
Oh no.
And normal form stool.
No, it's quite harder. If anything.
But no blood, not black at all.
No.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much for that. On to your past medical history. Any operations in the past at all?
Yeah, I did when I was sort of in my teens. Probably, I think I was about 15. I had my appendix removed.
In your teens, okay, but nothing since then. No big operations since then.
No.
Okay. You said that you take a little bit of paracetamol for your headaches.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And are you doing any of the medicines at all?
Just the pill. Yeah. No, nothing else.
Nothing else at all. Okay. And nothing else over the counter?
No, just paracetamol for my headache.
Recreational drugs at all?
No.
Okay. And are you allergic to anything?
Oh, yes. I'm allergic to amoxicillin. So is that penicillin?
Yeah.
So allergic to penicillin.
Okay. What happens when you have penicillin?
Oh, that's what I get. That's when talk about a rash. I get a rash.
Oh, I see. So that's the rash.
Well, no, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So rash with penicillin. So who's with you at home?
So I live with my partner, Sam.
Okay. No particular problems there at all?
No.
Okay.
It's been about 3 years.
Is there any family history of note?
No, not that I'm aware of, anyway.
No gut conditions in the family?
My aunt maybe. My aunt had something to do with her tummy, but I don't know what it was really.
Okay.
It wasn't cancer.
So just moving towards the end, I just wanted to explore your ideas, concerns and expectations really. So what do you think is going on with this problem?
Well, I think it could be an infection.
An infection, yeah. And you told me about one of your concerns about passing it on to people at work, and especially the children, I guess. Yeah. But any other concerns at all?
They pass on to me. Yeah. My sister, my friend's sister, has got bowel cancer. She's only 30.
Oh dear.
And so it's just the bleeding really more than anything that's worried me. So I wondered about that really.
I mean, I'm glad you told me that. We'll try and reassure you, and let's see what turns out in your case. What do you think we need to do today to help you?
Well, I wondered if I might need some tests. I mean, I'm really hoping, because I did have a little look on the internet, and I'm really hoping it's not going to be one of the cameras. I think colonoscopy or something like that. I'm hoping I don't have to have that.
Sure. Okay, I think I've got everything there. Is there anything else that you want to tell me? Actually, I've just remembered. I forgot to ask you about travel. Have you had any travel in the last few months or weeks even?
No, I haven't been away anywhere.
Okay, and you can't distinctly say that this is due to a particular food that you've had, or and nobody else has had this problem in your family?
No.
Just wanted to check that.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else that you want to tell me about this problem?
No, I did go travelling about 3 years ago to Africa.
All right, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to South Africa and up into Zimbabwe.
But were you well there though?
Yeah, I was well. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any questions for me?
No. How likely is it that I'm going to have a camera?
Well, I think initially we'll probably run some blood tests and do the stool sample and make sure there's no infection. Then I probably need to get a gut specialist to have a look at you if it hasn't got better in a matter of weeks.
For questions 13 to 24, complete the following notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
Come in.
Hi, Ms. Jones?
Yes.
I'm Jane Crone. I'm a medical student with the university here.
Nice to meet you.
I've been sent in by Dr. Smith as part of our training as a medical student to do an interview with you.
Okay.
And then I'll take that information back to Dr. Smith, and then she will come back in and see you then after that.
Okay.
All right. How may I address you?
Mrs. Jones is fine.
All right. Thank you. Is that okay with you today to talk?
Yes, that'll be fine.
Thank you. I'm going to start out today by just talking a little bit with you about your chief complaint. What brings you here today?
Sure. My left elbow has actually been bugging me a lot. Every once in a while I've been getting a little bit of pain, extending my arm and going back to bending it. Really that's the primary reason I've come in. I've attempted to take a little bit of Tylenol to relieve the pain, but it's not really seeming to help much.
Okay. Before we talk a bit more about that, is there anything else that you want to talk with either me or Dr. Smith today?
Not that I can think of, no.
Okay. Tell me more about this pain.
It's just kind of a throbbing pain. It'll act up kind of randomly throughout the day. It's not specific to, the morning or evening or even in the middle of the day or night. It just kind of randomly acts up. I would say excessively, like when I'm doing work, like after the dishes. It'll start to act up. If I, lift one of my children up, it'll start to act up. So any sort of exertion is kind of where I've noticed a lot of the pain coming from.
And tell me, when did it start for you?
I would say in the area about maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And you described the pain as throbbing. Is there anything else about the pain in terms of the quality of the pain that you want to describe for me?
No, just really throbbing.
Okay. It started about a week to 2 weeks ago. Okay. And do you recall what you were doing at the time that it started?
I've been helping my husband clean out the garage lately, and we were lifting some boxes. And that's kind of, I didn't notice it at the moment, but later in the evening it started to act up.
Okay. I would like to hear about a little bit about the severity of it on a pain scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst pain you've ever had, 1 or 0 being no pain. How bad is this pain?
I would measure it probably about a 6 or 7.
6 or 7?
It's become more of a nuisance than an actual physical pain.
Okay. And is it a 6 or 7 all the time?
Whenever it starts to act up, yes.
Okay. And how often a day does that happen?
I would say maybe 2 to 3 times per day.
Do you notice any pattern to that at all?
No.
Okay. All righty. And can you point exactly to where it is for me, the location of it exactly?
Kind of the area that just kind of wraps around the actual elbow.
Okay.
That is really bothering me.
And does that pain go up your arm or down your arm or anywhere else on your arm?
No, it stays straight in that area.
Okay. Is there anything else that goes on at the same time? Any other symptoms that happen? Anything else other than when the pain is happening there? Anything else going on for you?
Not that I've noticed, no.
Okay. All righty. Is there anything that makes it feel better?
Nothing that completely gets rid of it. Tylenol will relieve it for a temporary period of time, but it hasn't gotten rid of it.
Okay. And how much Tylenol do you take?
Whatever it says on the bottle, usually 1 to 2 tablets.
And is that regular strength or extra strength?
Regular strength.
Okay. And you just take it across the counter, the normal directions on the bottle? Okay. Mm-hmm. Does anything make it worse?
Like I mentioned, any sort of exertion, picking up a child, doing the dishes, pretty much daily kind of living activities.
So using it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Have you seen anybody else for this complaint?
No.
What else have you tried other than the Tylenol and anything else other than the Tylenol?
I've attempted to use a heating pad on it, and I've also attempted ice. Neither were successful.
Okay. It sounds you've talked a little bit about how it's impacted, you to be able to work in the garage or do the dishes or lift your child. Is there other impact on your life?
Like I mentioned, it's more of a nuisance. There will be times in the middle of the night that it'll start to act up. If I get up to go to the bathroom, I'll notice pain in my elbow.
Does it wake you at night?
It doesn't, but if I wake up in the middle of the night, it will trouble me in falling back asleep.
Okay. What do you think it is?
I'm not quite sure. My best guess is maybe some sort of pulled muscle or something.
Okay.
But honestly, I don't know.
That is the end of Part A.